How's it going, everyone? I'm Max and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm just going to be sitting here talking about the difference between bongs and joints. You might think this is a bit similar to my last video, which it kind of is, but I've got no real script today. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head. So let's get right into it. When might you need a joint compared to a bong? Now personally, I feel that when I'm out with the homies smoking, a joint is the best way to just kind of share that experience, have a nice high, and just kind of vibe with the homies, you know? Otherwise, if I'm on my own and I'm just looking to get absolutely blitzed out of my mind, bong is the way to go. I only recently started liking bongs, probably just a few months ago, and I've been smoking for quite a few years now. I never really liked them too much before, and would only use them on rare occasions if I didn't have much weed left and I was trying to save as much as possible, which I will get more onto a bit later on, or if I just wanted to get super duper blitzed. Now recently I have started enjoying bongs a lot more than I have joints, and I think that's just because the fact that it's so easy to use. All you have to grind up your herb, pop it in your bowl, light it, and you're gone, you know? You're fried. Whereas joints, you know, whilst I love taking my time, rolling up a nice joint and smoking a joint, if I just want to get high and just kind of relax, I like to use a bong, and that's what I've been doing most recently. I think as well, if done right, it can save you some weed in the long run. At the moment, I've only been having about a bowl, maybe 2 bowls a day at maximum, and that just is right for me, you know? Especially with the amount that I'm putting in these bowls as well. I'm only putting maybe a 0.15, maybe even a 0.2 in the bowl, which is over half what I'd use in a joint. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, but the bong just seems to hit so much harder. Even just putting that like 0.15 in the bowl and ripping it, I will feel just as high I would feel just as high as if I was to smoke a joint, like a 0.5 joint. Depending on the way that you intake cannabis, the effects can be quite different. I find with a bong that it can just get me absolutely ripped, but I think that might be to do with the fact that I did just smoke joints for a long period. Never really hit the bong, never really, you know, was interested in hitting the bong. I just like smoking my joint, getting high, and enjoying. But I feel like when you're switching up the routine and kind of switching up the way that you're intaking, it can really boost that high a little bit more and get you even more schmacked. It's like if you were to eat edibles, for example. Yes, they do digest through your system a bit differently than weed, and therefore your tolerance with edibles can be different than with weed. But with bong, I feel like just the way of intaking that, you know, that big one cloud hit all at once, can sort me out for the rest of the evening, you know? Now, the bong that you use can also make a huge difference in your smoking experience. For example, I believe this is called a beaker. I've got a nice big green beaker here with a little bit of water in still. This one I enjoy for those slightly bigger hits. Because there's so much room in this bong for smoke to build up, it does give a lot of the time for smoke to cool down before it actually reaches your body. I also have this slightly smaller bong, which is, I would say, just about half the height of the normal bong, maybe even a little bit more. And I feel like this is better for if I want a nice milky cloud without having to put a lot of weed in. Now this bong is actually a dab rig that I got for doing dabs, but I've been enjoying using it as a bong so much that I've just kept it that way for so long now, and I've not really used it for any dabs recently. Maybe that'll change in the future, who knows, maybe I'll shift my way of smoking over to doing dabs, vaporizing, and different means. But at the minute, this is what's just been doing right for me. These are obviously as well 2 completely different bongs. It's not just like the beaker but smaller. It has its own kind of unique, cool design to it. And I feel like hitting a piece like this is extra cool because you can see here you got all the percolation at the bottom where those bubbles come through, and I feel like the airflow in a bong like this is a lot better than if I was to hit this. And especially trying them side by side just recently, this bong is definitely a lot tougher to pull through and get a bigger cloud for. You know, you have to inhale a lot deeper and for a lot longer, whereas this bong, within a nice short sweet hit, you can get a really nice milky cloud, and especially not using much weed at all. I think I used about 0.1 in this yesterday, and it got me ripped. I was going to do another one, and I was like, nah. I was like this. Nah, I'm good. So that's one of the main reasons this one has been my go-to for quite some time now. Now don't get me wrong, I still absolutely love joints. I love rolling joints, I love smoking joints, and I love getting absolutely mashed off of joints. But for me now, they are more of a sharing thing, you know, if I'm meeting up with the homies or my girl comes over and we want to smoke, we'll smoke a joint. It also depends on what my goal is. If my goal is to get absolutely fried, then the bong is the way to go. But if I really want to taste a joint and see how the flavor profile is on a specific strain, then I will smoke something like this. A little joint, probably no bigger than that, just to get some flavour, try the smoke, see what it's like, see if I like it. That's my preferred way. And then if I do want to get high, then the bong is right there. I know a lot of people that won't smoke bongs as well. They swear by joints and they absolutely hate bongs, which I get. They can be harsh, they can be different and something that you're not used to. I feel like once you get used to the bong, it's completely different for me. I went through about a year and a half having my green bong. This is the original, well, this is the second original bong that I got. And I never really hit it that much. You know, every now and then I'd break it out at a sesh, or if I didn't have any weed, I would go down, hit the bong, save some weed. But I never really got interested until recently, when I just started enjoying it again. I started really enjoying getting a nice milky hit, and found that if I do everything right with my breathing, make sure I'm hydrated, that I can get a nice milky cloud without too much harshness or stress on my chest. Bongs can also save you a lot of bud. Now, I personally think that anyway, because the hit that you're getting with a bong is so instantaneous and it's so big as well, the high that you get from it compared to smoking a joint, for me, is day and night. You can hit a bong and just be absolutely slumped, sitting there like... I feel like with a joint, you can kind of do tasks as well whilst you're smoking. And sometimes that can help a lot of people. Even if I'm just chilling, having a sesh, having a smoke and having a chat is so great. But if I just really want to get ripped, hit the bong, then I'm sitting there trying to recover for a minute before I can even talk to anyone. Sometimes the bong does take a while to recover. You know, after that big first hit, you need a minute to just breathe, get any coughs out that need to get out, and just rehydrate, because a big bong hit can really fuck you up. Now, bongs aren't all amazing and glorious. There are some downsides to them as well. I think one of the biggest downsides to having a bong is cleaning it. Yo, it's a pain in the ass to clean it every single time. But if you want to keep your glass looking like this and looking super squeaky clean, you need to clean it. I, after every single session, will always ISO my bong, rinse it out, get some bong cleaners, and just make sure it's got a proper scrub, because I don't want my bong looking horrible. I don't know if you can see it here, yeah, but there's a bit of a like resin stain on the glass there. And that's because I didn't clean it properly when I first started using it. So that resin just built up and built up and built up, and it was a lot worse than this before. Over time, I've been able to kind of scratch away at it and clean it more and more and more. But even still, I think that stain is always going to be there. No matter how hard I clean it, unless I can get something down there. But because of these divots on the side, it's so difficult to get a straw cleaner or something around there and tucked under, enough to where it rubs the glass and actually takes the stain off. And that's what I like about joints. As soon as you've done, you can just and put it out. Even if you're using like a glass tip, like I showed earlier, which I don't know where it's gone. Even if you're using a glass tip like this, it's just as simple as whacking it into a little pot, into isopropyl alcohol, give it a shake, give it an hour or so, and then clean it. So I feel like when I'm smoking a joint, especially with a glass tip, you know, you finish that joint and you just think, right, done, clean it, worry about it in a little bit. Whereas with a bong, I always make sure I clean this as soon as the session is done. I hate having to worry about it later. And especially if I've been hitting bong as well, I'm not going to want to clean that bitch later. Also in the near future, I want to do a video comparing bongs and dab rigs. I need to get some extract in, so bear with me whilst I find some good, really nice fire extract. Because I want to have a fair comparison with some fire bud and some fire extract. I'll be going to Sky High Pop-Ups in October as well, so I know there's going to be some absolute fire there. Just be prepared for an amazing video. It's going to be a massive weekend-long smoke sesh with vendors, food, music. So make sure you stay tuned, smash that subscribe button if you've not done so already so you don't miss out. So which one do you prefer? Do you prefer bongs or joints? At the minute, I love them both, and I don't think I could pick a favourite. It depends what mood I'm in and what effect I'm trying to get. If I'm just trying to get stoned, bongs are the way to go. Otherwise, if I do want that more flavour chasing high, then a joint every single time. So that's about it. That's all I've got to say when it comes to bongs and joints. Make sure you're subscribed if you've not done so already so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming videos because they are gonna be sick. And leave a like if you've not done so already. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. I'm recording. Hello?